Let's get into this first topic, though. And the first one came of really no surprise to me. The only real surprise with it, in my opinion, was just how soon it was. And that's the Chris Evans stuff. Chris Evans being reportedly in talks to come back as Captain America. I think it was no surprise, again, that this would actually happen at some point. It's just a little bit sooner than I expected it to actually be. Just given that we just had Endgame, I figured I don't know. I don't really know when I expected him to come back. Like I've said from the start, RDJ and Chris Evans, they're gonna come back at some point. Like in some way, who knows how, but the MCU's had how many times has Loki died and came back? It was just the writing was on the wall for Cap and Iron Man to come back at some point in time. And but we have news that he is supposedly going to be coming back. So there's no news as far as like the when and the wheres and the whys. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think yourself? Like his return would be in? You know,
What would he come back as? Yeah, I mean, like obviously Captain America, but for what?
that's what I'm saying. What do you think it would be?
Some
Because
sort of TV show or something, I would think. I mean, there's no major movies announced that I think would include him or anything like that,
well,
right?
dude, let me float this out there too before one of you bring it up because there's been some people saying like, oh, maybe he's gonna come back and be a scroll in like Secret Invasion. Why the hell would Chris Evans come back to be fake Captain America?
Yeah,
It doesn't like why would you do that? Like
money.
it doesn't like no. Like I mean, is it possible? Yeah, anything's possible. But like he pretty much retired from the role and like his story ended in a nice way in Endgame. You're gonna come back just to be fake Captain America for in a little TV show?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that really I don't know. I
Hon
wouldn't think that's the only reason.
Honestly, that's the only way I could see him coming back to play it.
Yeah.
Because that was my thought. That was my thought. Like he could come back. And so here's my thinking behind that. Like they ended his run. So obviously with comic books, you've got the nobody stays dead trope that holds true for every character.
Mhm.
But the instant you do that with Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans, and you bring back one of their characters, even though Chris Evans technically isn't dead, he's just living his life in an alternate timeline or in the past, depending on how their timelines work. The instant you bring one of them back, you then put the expectation back in people's heads that they are going to be there to play that role going forward. Like
True.
you couldn't resurrect Robert Downey Jr. and have him like let's say the next, the culmination of the next 10 years of storytelling ends in a big battle, and like Robert Downey Jr. pops up at the end and is like, yo, they saved me somehow, or I found a way to cheat death and I'm back and like I'm here just in time to save the day. Like that's awesome. But if he comes back just to save the day and then dies again, it's like it just cheapens the death, and it's like, so he's not really back. It's just I don't know. I feel like it just doesn't play as well. But if Chris Evans signs to be a Skrull and he comes back and he plays evil Captain America, then it does two things. One is it removes the idea that the actual Captain America is back, that the actual Steve Rogers is like come back from the past, or is going to be involved with the franchise going forward. He could just come back for that limited capacity to play that role. Plus, it gives him a chance to, as an actor. I always hear that not being an actor myself, I don't know, what their motivations are and stuff. But I've always heard actors like don't like to be pigeonholed into one role. They like to try different roles and things like that. And this would give him a chance to play a different type of Captain America, a different role than he's ever played before. But at the same time, so anyway, that was my thinking. That's like the only way, because I feel like you bring him back, you're kind of just setting yourself up for failure.
It's a good point. Yeah.
I just don't know. I feel like if he came back as a Skrull, he'd be back in other ways too. I just don't feel like. I mean, I don't know Chris Evans. He might want that might be a great thing. He might just want to come back and do one quick thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, and maybe doing that would let him be able to, it puts a new spin on a character he's already been for so long, kind of like you were saying. So, like, maybe that would be enough. One thing I want to add, though, this isn't necessarily related to Captain America, but I guess before I go into this real quick, we should note that uh, Chris Evans tweeted about this and just said news to me.
Shrug emoji.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't think that actually means anything because this article was initially broken by, I think, Deadline, who have it was either Deadline or Hollywood Reporter. They have very reputable sources. They don't just post random things.
No, like
They
rumors.
actually, they get multiple confirmations on their stories from their sources.
Fact checked. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't just spout out nonsense and rumor stuff. So my guess is he's honestly just saying that to deflect the news because he didn't actually deny it. Like, he didn't say this is not happening or anything like that, which he could still say that and be lying if he said something like that too. But I think this is just probably the kind of thing where, Kevin Feige and Marvel, whatever, Disney, probably didn't want this information to be out there right now.
Mhm.
And that's so he's just kind of saying, like,
Playing off of
"I
that.
don't know anything."
Yeah.
That's the thing. But moving on to my kind of final point here, just because we were talking about the scroll stuff for Secret Invasion and everything, it kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of people have obviously been speculating what they're going to do with Black Panther now that Kevin Feige came out and said that they're not going to be recasting T'Challa, right? So I actually had a thought to where this is something they could do. I don't know if they would, but they could do this without having to make up some new way of, like, I don't know, killing off T'Challa or anything like that because, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman and everything. I feel like that's just more messy, trying to, like, fit something in the movies to represent what happened. I don't like the idea of having to do that. But a way you could
You're saying trying to explain away his absence in
Yeah.
future movies.
Right,
Like, why
yeah.
why isn't he on the screen? Okay.
Yeah. So what I was thinking they could do, though, is how at the end of Infinity War, spoiler alert, he gets dusted. They could say that actually was what happened, and when the snap happened, he didn't come back, a Skrull did in his
Ooh.
place.
But doesn't that then, like, raise questions about, like, well, why didn't he come back when everybody else that got dusted did? And why?
It would, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's also a comic book movie.
Yeah, everything's explainable.
They're gonna
one way or
have to do
another.
some sort of explain-o-vision to why he's gone now anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kinda where
Yeah.
I'm coming because there's how else are they gonna handle it, you know what I mean? Because at
Well,
least that's,
I'm
like,
assuming that T'Challa's going to have passed in between movies somehow, like,
I don't like that.
and there'll just be some sort of, like, memorial or something that they pass by or have erected to him in Wakanda. Like, it may even open with, his memorial service and like news
Yeah.
clippings over the credits about what happened or something. I could see them doing something
Like in the
brief like
beginning.
that. Yeah, exactly. In the beginning of the movie, like, just brief news clippings, like, I can't even imagine, but some sort of villain attack that he prevents, or some sort of he gave his life defending.
Sacrifice.
Like, it could be something like super, like, mundane too, because they don't want to, like, put the focus on the fact that the Chadwick passed. Like, it could be something like he saves, like, a bunch of children from a bus crash or something, but gives his life to do it or something. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of something like a natural
Speculation.
disaster or something.
I feel like if
but
they were
you
gonna
don't-
do that, it'd probably just be easier to say, like, he got an illness. It's something that he couldn't fight because it's like not Chad, but T'Challa himself been through a lot, so it'd be kind of hard to say, like, you can go up toe to toe with Thanos and, like, all his minions and stuff, but then
get in a
you
bus
die
crash.
in a bus crash or something. You know what I mean? But kind of
Sure.
like Goku in the Cell Saga, or in the Android Saga rather, he got a heart disease that killed him. Like, this is Goku, so it's kind of hard to have him just die in a fight because it's Goku.
Yeah.
But he can't he can't fight a terminal disease, you know what I mean? So, I mean, they could just do that. Also, though, with that, it kind of hits close to home because of the whole what happened to Chad, and that's why I don't really like the whole thing of the whole notion of having to kill off T'Challa now, because it's like I just find it messy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like I don't want to have to. It's
But
like, why would you want to relive it? It's
Sure, but that's what I mean. That's isn't that? I'm trying to think of other. That's what they did with Paul Walker's character in the Fast and
They
Furious,
did.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
he was killed off camera.
No, he wasn't
I'm
killed
trying to
off. I
think.
don't
He
think.
wasn't killed off.
No, he just like left to be with his family.
Yeah, he was CGI'd in and he rode off into the sunset. At the
Driving
end
Oh,
of the
you're
Super.
right. His brothers played him, didn't
Mhm.
they?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's what I
For some reason,
prefer. That's why I just wanted them to recast T'Challa because it's like now they got to work in this whole thing to where like they got to explain why T'Challa's gone now, and like no matter what it is, it's not going to be something you get to see unless it is something like related to Black Panther trying to do something. Then it could just be someone in the suit.
I thought the guy
But-
from Tenet would have been a good casting. You'd mentioned that, I think.
That's what I said, man. John David Washington, go play T'Challa, or have Michael B. Jordan just come in and play T'Challa. Like, who cares that he was Killmonger?
That'd be kind of strange.
Everybody,
I feel like.
it doesn't matter. Everybody would be totally on board with it. Like everybody loves Michael B. Jordan, and it'd be like in honor of Chad. He worked with him, so now he's going to come back and actually be T'Challa now, and like it would work fine. No one would care. Like I don't know. This was about Chris Evans anyway, so we should probably move on. This is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But anyways, all right, guys. What do you think about Chris Evans and our T'Challa theories here too? Do you think that either one of them? Do you think maybe the Skrull Secret Invasion angle on it is how they're going to go with both Black Panther and Captain America? Do you think it's going to be just Captain America is going to come back and just be a Skrull? Whatever you think, let us know down in the comment section below.